Welcome to Going 19, Episode 12. Today we continue our discussion on Stephen King's 11/22/63, Part 4, Sadie and the General, Chapters 14 to 17. I am Ed. With me are Kirsten and Amber. Let's start the show.
No.
There was another way a broom handle could be used. See, the broom handle gets real ominous. There's another way the broom handle could be used. I'd read Last Exit to Brooklyn, but apparently he hadn't done that because she bled on the sheet. So I know what he's talking about there. I've never seen that movie, but
it's pretty obvious.
Yeah. Anyway, so Clayton's weird. Has he actually said? No, she hasn't said what he did yet, right?
No, because she kind of gives it in pieces until the very last minute, and then she finally
had to get it out. Then the broom. I mean, duh.
Yeah, I was reading that part at work, and I sent a screenshot of that whole description to my friend, and I was just like, "Oh, this story right now is what I said. I think I described him as a particularly psychotic person."
He's got OCD so bad that he can't stand the germs in, I guess, the one place he wants to go.
I mean, it seems like
that conflict all the time. He gets as close as he can take.
It's weird because he doesn't let it stop him from orgasming,
right?
But he thinks it's disgusting. He even says I'm disgusted because I allowed you to do that to me, and it's
yeah, but that's afterward.
Yeah, but it's it was your idea to get this started in the first place.
That means his biological urges are superseding his mental whatever fuck ups. I can't think of the right word.
Mental block.
Biology takes precedent.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it does make sense. I mean,
I just feel that's so unfair. So she's just expected to sit here and pleasure you, even though you're disgusted by it yourself. But you get something like that.
Most marriages were probably like that in the 50s. I'm sorry.
Most marriages were having sex because we're here.
That doesn't mean it was consensual.
Pleasurable for them, yeah.
Yeah.
That I would probably agree with. I don't think there was much women's lib or enjoyment going on at the time. Your mom didn't like it?
We'll never know.
Yeah. The world. I thought I had to, if this was going to work, I had to understand. See, he's talking about how he needs her to tell him so he can understand and move forward with her. I think he's just being a nosy bastard, and he wants to know because he can't take not knowing.
Well, of course.
And also, he might want to sleep with her.
Well, does any of that matter with him staying with her?
I mean, well, if she's not comfortable without opening up to him,
maybe they're just dating. They're not.
I'm not saying he's using her. I'm just saying it could also be another I'm not even saying it's wrong. just saying if he is interested, he's gonna have to listen to her.
Personally, I think he's just being a nosy bastard, and he can't take not knowing. I highlighted what he said, and I wrote no. No, you're just being nosy. And look, down there, I wrote, wifey John Buddy. I noticed that when we were at your house. Yours doesn't say that because I wrote it.
I know, but I'm saying, what were you, John Buddy?
Michelle calls John Buddy. I noticed that at your house. It's hey, buddy, what are you doing?
Oh, she does. Yeah, you're right.
So we actually know someone that says that.
That says that. Yeah, she must be from Maine, somewhere in the lineage.
I don't say Yin's with me.
Well, yeah, that's...
Love you.
Did they have ripped for her pleasure condoms in 1960? I feel that is definitely...
We're probably fact check that one.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. All the research that you said he did for this, and like the accuracy for the time period, that kind of threw me off.
All I can say is probably. I think
Did you look it up?
You're
I'm literally looking it up
the,
now.
The 60s a little bit there.
When were ribbed condoms invented? 1972. So he messed up.
How did that get?
They named
That
it.
seems late.
They named it Stimula.
Of course they did.
A bumpy history of ribbed for her pleasure.
Oh, that's funny. I see what they did there. Hey, Google. When were Trojan brand ribbed condoms invented?
I don't think the condoms are. I mean, I think it's just ribbed. Well, wait, never mind. Never mind.
In 1920, Young's Rubber Company, founded by a 33-year-old businessman named Merle Youngs, introduced his brand Trojan as the competition. Wow, 1920.
Wait, so ribbed in 1920 or just?
No. Just that's when because I was like, when was Trojan like as a brand developed?
Sheepskin for 100 years.
When did women get the right to vote?
Right, yeah. That now we see where the male priorities are, right?
Well, it was 2 years before that. So at least they got the vote in before the.
We still don't have control of our bodies, so that's nice. Still fighting for that.
Would you rather be alive 100 years ago?
I don't know. I'm not Jake.
Although I had a Terminator moment too. Because he says, which was amusing when you considered that I wouldn't be a baby from myself for another 15 years. Thinking about the future is confusing in all sorts of ways. And I'm like, yeah, what if Jake went back in time and got Sadie pregnant and now Jake is his own father? That's some kind of Terminator stuff, though.
Yeah. I don't think that's what's gonna happen.
Well, no, definitely not. But he doesn't like. I would have been. Sometimes he's talking about changing shit, and sometimes he's talking about how he can't change shit because of the butterfly effect. Like he's making sure he's the one that rents the house across the street from Oswald. What if that fucks everything up? What if
How
Oswald
does he know?
What if Oswald never even tries because butterfly effect? So, like, some stuff is okay to fuck with, and some stuff is.
Right. He even says that, like, I don't want to change too much. And it's like, how the hell do you know the equation here? You're just guessing.
I still say, like Kirsten says, just go shoot fucking Oswald and go out to the future and see what happens.
Oh my god. That means, oh, well, never mind. Doesn't matter anyway. I was going to say, when he goes back, everything that happened with Sadie will never have happened, but he probably won't be coming back anyway.
Well, right.
If he went back.
If you go back to 1958, yeah, it's all gone.
Right.
Which would suck. Like, oh well, I wasn't doing anything for 5 years anyway. So I like,
like, this stuff gets reset, but it doesn't get erased from your mind.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. It feels like a big giant waste. That would be hard to wrap your head around. That none of that ever happened again, or none of that happened actually happened now because I just erased it all. We got it. Pound cake became my name for it, and we ate plenty that fall.
Mm-hmm.
Eating pound cake is a whole different visual. She didn't. Who, me? You're the one that loves the pound cake.
Like the pound cake reference.
I know.
Sure.
But I couldn't stop right there. She didn't come to my house. That would cause the wrong kind of talk. But it was perfectly okay for him to go to her house.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
Is that like a male chauvinist 50s thing?
I'm
like,
sure it
I
was.
guess?
Everything was male chauvinist.
I'm glad I'm a guy.
I also don't understand what kind of talk they're worried about when the whole town knows they're dating anyway.
Right.
Yeah, there's like 45 people in the whole town, and like 38 of them.
And everyone clearly approves of it based on.
Like the kid's like, "Go, Mr. A."
Yeah, like.
They could just say, "Oh, she got a divorce."
Yeah, like just lie, like everyone else does.
Dropped by for the meal she called supper. My grandparents called it supper. Never understood.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was an age,
my grandma
time period thing.
I thought supper was like early dinner. Like supper
yeah,
is like
I used
at
to have
5.
supper and dinner.
It's like supper when you're eating soup, right? Because you're supping.
When I was like in elementary school, I had supper and I had dinner.
Oh my god!
Because I would get home from school at like 4:00 and I would have a cup of noodles, and that would be my supper, and then my dinner would be with the family.
Who called it that? Who called
Me.
it that?
Me.
Well,
because my mom was like, you have 2 dinners every day. I was like, no.
Oh, okay,
I have supper and I have dinner. And my mom was like, okay, whatever, and just like rolled her eyes. That was my excuse for why I ate twice in the evening. Because most people, like even now as an adult, like I'll eat a cup of noodles as a meal. But back then it was like my after school snack.
Sometimes I wonder if it would be better at night, when regular people.
It kind of makes it, I'm like, I guess you kind of want to know what it's like to be like other people, but it's not like, is that different?
Also, doesn't he already know you were married?
I think with
her specifically.
She said that, didn't she? Yeah, she said it.
What it's like to do it at night. She
said that. Okay.
She said, yeah, because he's always going over there and not spending the night because that would cause talk.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because it takes all night to have sex.
I do think there's something to be said about like sleeping next to each other, obviously, and waking up next to each other.
There definitely is.
Absolutely.
That's. I mean, if you care about the person.
Yeah. that's definitely a factor.
Like, yeah, you're not spending.
Get out.
Unless you pass out, and I don't even know if that counts. I wrote this. I dropped by my rake and hurried over to him. Wait, no, I dropped my rake and hurried over to him when Deke shows up. I meant to shake his hand, but hugged him instead. In 1961, real men don't hug. And that would be pussy, wouldn't it?
I see what you did there.
Yeah, see, I'm tying it all together.
Yeah, look, I got a reference. Yeah. That's my first one.
Not a Dark Tower reference now.
I know, but it's a reference. We're getting it.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting to read that again. I'm not sure if I liked it.
What, the body? Because it wasn't a good story.
It is a good story. You're just not a fan of people coming of age, apparently.
There's more interesting things that happen in
So Ellen Doherty goes from telling them where to go have sex at night to
principal
to principal to I know you're a big faker, so I told Sadie.
Wait, is she principal at the time that she tells Deke to tell them about?
Yeah.
Because isn't that why she sends Deke?
She takes over for Mimi, doesn't she?
Mimi wasn't principal.
No. Sadie takes over for
Deke
Mimi in the library.
Yeah.
Deke was principal, but Mimi called. Everyone knew Mimi called the shot.
Right. And Deke was okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was by then, because hadn't Deke been away?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's why Ellen Doherty. Oh my gosh. Ellen Doherty asked me to pass on a word or two about you and Sadie Clayton.
He's back to Clayton?
No, he literally says she goes by Dunhill now. It's her maiden name.
Oh, yeah, Jake says that too.
Yeah. And then he says, Ellie said she was pretty sure neither of you knew about Candlewood bungalows just outside of Colleen. She didn't feel right about telling you, so she asked if I would. So I think that's why, because she was principal at the time.
when teachers get caught having sex, that was some kind of talk.
Right, especially if the principal told him to go do it.
I mean,
Principal's like, yeah, here, this is the pad. Go have fun.
It's run by a couple of retired school teachers from Arkansas or Alabama. One of those A states, anyway. Retired men school teachers, if you know what I mean. Like,
yeah.
No, I didn't know what that meant.
He's saying they're gay.
Gay.
No, but I didn't. So just because they're retired men, that means they're gay? Like, I thought that was.
I mean,
retired men's school.
I feel like there's not really a lot of men that open a bar together. Like, I don't know.
Right.
Or a fuck shack.
Right, or a hotel or whatever.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like a hotel. Like normally that takes a female touch to have like a bed and breakfast or any type of hospitality industry, especially back in those days.
So Deke checked up on him and knows he's a faker already. Ellie doesn't know yet.
Deke was like totally cool with it though.
Well, they've seen him in action and they say that supersedes any of his references because he's obviously good at what he does. Mm-hmm. And after this is.
Would that have happened in real life? Though?
This is before or after the play?
Mm-hmm. This is after. No.
The vaudeville.
Oh yeah, this is before. I thought you meant the first play.
He hasn't done the vaudeville thing yet, which goes a long way towards credibility.
The what thing?
Bobby Jill. Raising the money to fix your face.
Oh, yeah.
Not getting too far ahead.
No, I forgot her name.
I don't remember what he does, though.
They do the benefit, like, and everybody donates money.
Oh, right. Isn't that the one that he has to convince him 3 times for?
Yeah. Deep practices kindergarten psychology.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. You couldn't possibly do any better than you did last time.
It's ridiculous. And he knows what he's doing even as he's doing it, and he still falls for it.
I think Jake knew, like, because he didn't. Deep down, he wanted to do it anyway.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you read, like, as I was reading that portion, I was like, he clearly is acknowledging that he knows what he's doing, but he's still gonna play and do it anyway. Like,
yeah. Okay.
If you really didn't want to do it, you wouldn't do it. But
and Sadie gets into the detail.
The deets, yep.
Me the deets. How disgusting we are. Not how disgusting I am. How disgusting we are. Get it over with so I can get some sleep. Wait, fuck you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I am not getting anything out of this other than you being demeaning and controlling. Like, screw you. Put the broom in the middle and I'm going to go to sleep.
I think this is a different time than then.
Yeah.
Women just didn't do that.
I understand, but...
Yeah, try that now.
That's also part of the symbolism I meant in the broom. It's part of them not having sex and him not doing anything for her and her not getting anything out of that marriage.
Literally not a thing.
Except for a fucking broom.
Titty a couple times.
Yeah, and I like you said, how disgusting we are. I'd be like, no, how disgusting you are. Right. I'm not doing anything other than following directions.
They don't shit from there.
Yeah, nasty.
Like, I wrote OCD sex next to that.
OCD sex. They're not even having sex then.
Right, but that's what OCD sex is.
But no, it's not sex at all. There's no penetration.
Well, sex there are different definitions.
Like, I'm not getting involved in all that.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with that assessment. Transgressing the broom. I might have to. I wonder if Gerald Winter's store has a plaque that says "Transgressing the broom."
Don't transgress the broom.
Stephen King store and the guy that sells all the Stephen King stuff.
I figured.
And yeah, so Johnny's why is Jake so convinced that this guy is going to show up and be bad news?
Because he thinks he's like Frank. But one connection I was just realizing is he also compares him to his ex-wife. So I'm like, Well, which character is he like here? Come on.
I don't know why he's so obsessed and telling everybody that this guy's going to show up. Like, where does he get? Because he looks like Frank, so he thinks it's the past being obdurate, I guess.
It's more than the look. What did he say?
Not necessarily obdurate, but more harmonizing.
I don't think I got one obdurate in this section.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, it's not that. It's the fact that they have the same name. That her middle name is Doris.
Yeah, that blew my mind. Her name is Doris Dunhill. Sadie Doris Dunhill. So if you cut off the edges,
yeah,
he like freaks out.
You could probably do that for most people's names if you cut off the edges.
But I feel like that's where the harmonization comes in.
That's where he started freaking out when he saw the...
Nothing is a coincidence, yeah.
Yeah, Jake doesn't know that.
Yeah, he does. He's starting to realize that. He calls it the convergence. That convergence thing again.
Yeah, at the airport.
All right, so wait, let's we're not quite there yet. So we're jumping ahead a little bit.
Speed it a little bit up because I only have half an hour.
Okay.
We still got like 60 pages. Okay, so moving past Johnny. Rock Hudson reference again. He's the famous movie star who all the ladies were in love with when he died of AIDS because he was gay. You guys won't get that reference. He had it's twice he's mentioned them, so I don't know if that...
I heard you. Anyway.
What the fuck?
I'm just kidding.
His dream.
His dream is pretty wild.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that Rosette had a dream about him and the Jimla was in the back seat, I think is what she said.
Yeah.
Something like that. So I want to know what she saw.
I don't remember that.
She saw as... Wait, did that not happen yet?
No, it definitely happened because I remember writing that down where it's like now the Jimla is its own monster.
Yeah, so when she said the Jimla was in the back seat, what did that mean? Like when Ivy calls Jake and she says, we're moving and his back's broken and, I'll roll him a fuck and I'll roll you a fuck. She said, what's her name? Rosette had a dream about him. Or no more dreams because the last one was bad or something. I'm not on the page.
I don't remember that part, but I mean, I believe you guys. I just don't.
In
remember.
Jake's dream, he says, "I think it's Frank Dunning." Oh, the clump overhead. I think it's Frank Dunning. Sadie was cold, like gripping the arm of a dead a woman who had been beaten to death with a sledgehammer, perhaps. Yeah, we know that. Oh, because wait, did he do the name? No, he didn't do the name thing yet.
It's at the very, very end. It is. It's the Jimlon. It hurt us. The Jimlon is right here.
The Doris Dunning.
Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. We jumped way ahead to that part.
Oh, it's the yellow card man. He brought the Jimlon. There we go with the damn Jimlon. And yeah, how come it's the yellow card man and not the orange card?
Or the black
well,
card.
I think he's going to be always known as the yellow card man.
Because that's what he was initially.
Well, that's what he was for Al the whole time. So.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So,
and that's what he calls him later too.
Stuck.
Knock at the door at 1:45. That's the Vince Knowles one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Vince died. Bye, Vince.
Yeah.
Mike broke his arm. Oh yeah. Where does he say it? Something about Vince's head barely attached to his neck.
Ugh.
I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Gruesome.
Maybe it's the butterfly effect. Maybe Vince is dead because I came to Jody.
Yeah, so so we talk. I do have to go back to this because I heard you guys talking about when I was in the restroom too. I feel like he thinks that just because he's living a normal life in Jody, that like he doesn't really analyze the way that he is seriously impacting everybody's life. Like Vince, Mike, Deke, Mimi, Sadie. Like he doesn't think about any of that. He just goes about his business. But he thinks a lot about how what he's going to do is going to change the course of history for Harry and Oswald and Kennedy and all
get
that stuff.
involved in these people's lives.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I was saying earlier. He can't help himself. Like, well, I mean, prioritize, man. If you're keeping this promise, then that's your focus, and do what you got to do. Don't. Now he's all, like he completely changed Sadie's trajectory.
Yeah.
He I don't know if he changed Mimi or Deke necessarily, but
I think that's part of the Jim Law thing.
Well, Mike Coleslaw is way different now because of him.
You just made a great point. Maybe that's what Jim Law really means. Is it's like
it's not because at the end, it says
billboard
about the billboard, but before that, he says that because of the conversation that they had, and my interpretation is Vince did not take that conversation seriously like most high school kids wouldn't. He ends up dying.
Does it say that Vince was drunk?
Yes.
Yeah, they said later on.
It does. And that the combination of the two is what basically causes Jim to swear off drinking. And I feel like that probably totally changed the trajectory of Jim's life.
Yeah.
Totally changed it, because it's like when he replays it, do not fuck up your futures. That's what I had said. And Jim Ledoux, he of the lazy, I've got the world on a string smile, had actually taken it to heart.
Yeah, but we don't know that nobody else was drinking. Like, Vince just happened to be driving.
No, that Jim's.
But I'm saying.
Wasn't stopped anyway, or what? Because he's on his way to Alabama to become a. I feel like there would have been other
He's
people.
going to college.
I feel as the quarterback of the football team.
Right.
There would have been.
You think he's going to not drink?
People coaching him to stay in control at least.
Yeah, and that usually works, right? Historically speaking.
Better than some high school teacher who moved for 1 year telling them what to do.
Why do you think him going as the quarterback to a new school is going to have him make him
to
not
Alabama
drink?
State, to a state school as a quarterback, star quarterback?
Those big name schools, you can't.
No. I'm saying to you, Kirsten, because his life may not be changed forever. He's going to go to school and drink.
I'm sorry. What are you saying, Amber?
Like, how do we know his life has changed at all? How do we know he's not going to drink the second he gets to campus?
He's already on campus, and the coach at the very end, right before chapter 18 starts, says, "Yes, sir, that combined with whatever you said to those boys at the dance got Ledoux to swear off drinking."
He says he swore off drinking. I'm sure he meant it, but I think this is a moot point. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. I don't remember what your original point was.
It's the whole Jim Law thing. I feel like there's relevance there. Like I'm interested in what's going to happen moving forward, because
he was trying to deliver us. We didn't order.
Should have taken it.
Right, it's the paper.
My interpretation of the Jim Law thing, especially now that we've been talking about it, and especially since he's created it as his own monster, is it's kind of like, you're like we've been saying, you're really messing up these people's lives. Like, you don't know the havoc that you're creating right now.
But that's my whole point. Like, what if Jim Ledoux was supposed to go to Alabama State, and like, what if he was supposed to be the one that was supposed to die? Or what if he gets older and beats his wife with a sledgehammer or whatever?
Well, that's what we've been saying this whole time. He has no idea what's going to happen from all of the stuff he's been doing.
Right. Yeah. No, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Because, like, if you've ever known an alcoholic, which Jake has, he should know like, what kind of crazy trajectory, like, what things would have changed had his wife never been an alcoholic. Like, all this shit that's happening with the time travel probably never would have happened, because he would have been perfectly content just having a normal, mundane, middle-class life, living with his wife and doing whatever.
Because he wouldn't have been in Alabama.
Are you saying that he should have made him an alcoholic?
That's my point. Like, so by causing Jim to swear off drinking, that could completely change the trajectory of his life.
Again, I think you're making a point that we've been saying the entire time. Is he has no idea what the hell he's messing with.
No, I'm definitely agreeing with you guys, but I'm just saying, like,
that's what I'm saying. I think, again, he has no idea what the hell he's messing with or what's going to happen from all of this. He has no idea what has even happened in the future from what he's done.
He doesn't even evaluate it either. That's what I was saying earlier, too. Like, he only evaluates it in reference to Harry and JFK and Oswald. Like, everything else that he's fucking up, he's just like, whatever. Like, it's for the better. How do you know it's for the better?
That's why I think Jimla is kind of like a monster that sneaks up on him. It's like, hey, don't forget these are people that you've been messing with.
But you think that he just attached to that particular phrase, like...
Yes. I think Jimla is a manifestation.
Nobody knows where the pizza was supposed to go.
I was saying, like, is there more significance behind Jimla than what we're giving it credit for? You're saying you don't think so because of, things that Stephen King has done in the past. That's what you're saying?
Well, also because of the way he's already treated it, the fact that he's already called it a monster, that it's already like been referenced twice, at least 2 times, yeah. And it's the fact that it's been referenced outside of the football game multiple times. I think, I just don't think it really has much to do with him, except for the fact that it's his name, that it's from the town of Jody. Like I said, to me, it represents the town more than anything.
Right. So the town's bad?
No, I think it represents kind of like we were saying, that he hasn't been paying any attention to it. It's like a monster that's sneaking up on him, like. Don't forget what you're doing here, buddy.
I'll definitely be interested to see if we hear anything further about Jim Ledoux in the upcoming chapters. I mean, you guys would definitely know better than me because you've read a million Stephen King books, and this is like...
Oh, that doesn't mean...
But I'm just saying, like,
I know.
I'm interested.
Oh, you haven't read it, though, remember?
What?
I haven't read what?
No, not you.
Oh.
I haven't read
it? No, never mind.
Was that sarcasm?
It is, because you said that on the podcast before. I was like, is this speaking as somebody who's read it before? And you're like, no, speaking as somebody who's never read it.
Look at you listening to the podcast.
And he lied.
I remember when I said that. I didn't listen to it.
You could have followed me on YouTube.
I did follow you.
Oh, I thought I only had 2.
Yeah, it was probably me and her.
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
And I liked the videos. Well, some of them.
The video? What?
I liked them too.
Oh.
Okay, so I think we covered Jimla.
Right. Well, there's the dream. Did the monster have a name? Of course it did. He said it was a Jimla. Probably meant a Ginny, like those stories about Aladdin and 7 Veils.
So weird.
I just think it's so abrasive the way she does. Like, of course it did. What kind of idiot has a monster without a name?
No, he says, did the monster have a name? And he thinks, of course it did.
Okay, now I'm reading it. Yeah. Right. He already knew what the monster was.
Right. Now he already knew the name.
Yeah. He was just asking for confirmation.
That's why he was like, did it have a name? Of course it did. And I know what it is. Like, of course it had a name. And its name was Jimmy. Let's go. Party down and kick out the jams. Pop in, pop back out. Like, come on, dude. Why are you even... Like, you have to know that you can't be talking like that.
Well, he is stupid. We did establish that.
Christmas Eve bash. Since we're running out of time, I think we should get to the blow-up. Because...
That's really the only thing left in my mind.
We already talked about the coach stuff.
The party? I mean, the coach is cool.
You highlight freaking everything, so...
Well, I do, because you never know.
But I'm saying the major thing we haven't talked about yet is the blow-up.
Yeah, so it's starting to get weird. So I mean, did you want to say something about the coach, Amber?
Nope.
No, she's saying we already covered it.
She said we didn't talk about it.
No, she said we already
said
covered
we already
it.
Yeah.
Then the blow up. Okay, so it's the Rolling Stones song that does them in, which I think is kind of funny. She's like on the radio, Jake. The FCC would shut that down, or not Jake. George. The FCC would shut that down.
So
I'm like, okay, so what does she think?
I don't think she really knows. Like,
it's hard. It's really hard to put myself in her position because I'm thinking like, what is the big deal? Like, but I guess there probably wasn't nearly as much music available back then, and especially not, I guess not with that language. So it's kind of just.
She did ask him, "Is there another woman?" That was one of the first things she jumped to, and now he's singing a song about going and meeting some girl and going upstairs and all this, and she's like, "Where are you listening to this music? Like, where are you really going? Like,
hanging out in whorehouses or something?"
Yeah, that's like, where are you going that you're hearing this crap? Because you're saying you heard it on the radio, and we both know you didn't hear it on the radio. So
where could he possibly have heard it?
Yeah.
Where does she think he's going that he would have heard?
Probably a whorehouse. Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't.
Not a reputable place, I'll tell you that much.
Well,
it's not a place where people are getting stabbed in the street.
I guess it's part of the problem is that she.
Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say part of the problem is that she can't imagine because she doesn't. She knows by now that that he has no past, right? Like they don't know where he's from.
Yeah, she says, "You know everything about me. I don't know anything about you," or something. Who were you before you were married, or something? Before you came to Florida?
Yeah, she wanted to know who he was before Florida because, like, they already established some history in Florida. They were able to trace that stuff. But she's like, who were you before then? What's up with Derry and Dallas? Like, what? Yeah. Like, who was your ex-wife? How long were you guys married? Like, what? Like, what is going on? I mean, because a lot of the stuff that he's saying and doing is so wildly out of place. Like, he's being dumb, and we obviously we established that already.
Like too, party down, whatever I just said. What did he just say? Party down and kick out the jams. I even wrote stupid on there.
Stupid.
I like what she says too at the bottom of 427. It comes down to this: either the broom goes, or you'll have to.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily the song is bad. It's that he's
lying.
It is that he's keeping secrets.
Yeah.
And they don't seem to be. She's like, I think her breaking point with the song and like these things, I feel like it's the breaking point for her in that moment. She was cool with it up until then. And then it was like, okay, this is my breaking point because you're saying that whatever you did is not bad. I'd be okay with it. But she says, I need to be the one to make that determination. Like, you're saying that I would be okay with it, but I don't know that I would be okay with it based on the song you just freaking sang.
Yeah. I'm with her.
So
there's no way in hell he can tell her what he's doing. So
right, but
how can you have?
He shouldn't have let it get that far. He should have bowed out a long time ago.
Yeah, agree. Absolutely.
Signed on to be a full-time teacher.
100% agree.
Like, you gotta keep your eye on the prize.
Well, we're all on the same page there.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Amber?
No, just that, like, what I was going to say is how can you have trust in a relationship? How can you have trust at all with that, like, whole thing? But the whole point was you're not supposed to be in a relationship, so.
Right, right. No, absolutely.
Because you can't, because, what does he say? Time travelers lie a lot. You have to. You can't.
How do you scream I don't care how preoccupied your mind is. How are you screaming a song in the car and you don't even realize what song you're screaming?
I catch myself singing songs.
I would do that.
Yeah, maybe mumbling under my breath, but not like bellowing it out the way she describes it.
Or I am aware when I'm singing it, though. It's not like well, to a point. I do. I mean,
you know, like if I'm singing it under my breath.
If I get an earworm, I'll sing a song all day and not realize it.
Yeah,
he could have just been belting it, like.
I don't know if I'd be.
Like, I don't know.
That's where I lose it.
Yeah.
That's where I lose it. Like, I definitely do that, but I'll be like
he's with Sadie, thinking about Oswald coming into the country and shouting out.
It's the shouting for me that I'm like, you didn't realize, like.
I met it. something in Memphis. Tried to take me upstairs to do my nose, to do my mind.
Because
honky tonk.
Amber, what did you say?
You can easily, like, I don't know. I do it all the time. My friends do it all the time. You can easily yell out a song and then like not even realize what you're singing. And he's not thinking about not singing certain songs from certain eras. So
no, I get that.
He's got a lot going on for a boring day of grocery shopping. I got it in his head.
Weird.
Like he's thinking about Oswald and singing a song and talking to her. Like he says, a lot of things he says. Like, well, hold on. There's a part of Ivy Templeton I wanted to say. He says, it was one of those flashes that lit up my brain when Ivy Templeton had said her neighbors across the street could see in her living room. So until she said that, he had no plan to go
move there.
Right. So what was his plan? He wasn't going to have anything to do with Oswald when he got to this country until she said you could see in the window from across the street. He's like, oh. So what was he going to do, actually? Just wait.
I'd have to go back and look at it, but he was just planning on like basically stalking him. I just don't think he thought about how he was going to stalk him.
Yeah, and then when she said that, it just kind of fell into place. Like, oh, I'll just move in across the street.
Yeah,
kind of had no plan, really.
Yeah, that was my
Ex machina.
Yeah,
that was definitely my impression. That he's stupid. We established that he didn't really have a plan. He was like, "Oh, I'll just wing it." Like, oh,
even
smart.
when he has a plan, he doesn't follow it.
I know.
Plans are for fools. Oh, and what does this mean? He says we can. We want to. What do you think about taking a run to Dallas with me tomorrow and asking some questions? She says tomorrow is Sunday. How about after school on Monday? Well, why can't you go on Sunday?
It's closed. Everything's closed on Sundays.
Everything?
I do believe so. Yes. Because even when they go on Monday, they have to leave early because it has to be in business hours. That was the impression I got.
Okay.
Back in the day, that was a thing. Like Sunday, people were more religious. Sunday was the day of rest. No one's open. Yeah. Yep. That's what it was back in the day.
Yeah, could have been. You
went to church and you ate as a family. It was a day of rest. That's all you did.
And another family moves into 2706, so he's waiting for the Hazard family to leave so he can move in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, now we're getting a little Oswald-y parts. I don't understand Sadie's immediate anger, and I guess it's just she can't take the secrets anymore.
Yeah, I think it kind of all just boils over.
Because it's like
he says, first of all, he's screaming a song, then he tells her to chill, and stop freaking out.
Right.
So she's
those were the two worst things he could have said.
Yeah.
Well, but even that, she's like, you said freaking out, you said chill. You don't talk like it. Like, what does she think?
Well, she says it on 427. Sometimes it's like you're from, I don't know, some other universe.
Right. But that's obviously not what she actually thinks. But what does she think?
Maybe.
Well, that's the whole problem. She doesn't know. That's why she's like, you need to tell me what the heck is going on.
Yeah, right there. Love conquers all, except it doesn't. It doesn't conquer lies.
I like that.
And that's the valid part that Amber mentioned earlier. Like, you have to be able to have trust in a relationship. That's the main foundation of any relationship, and they have none because she doesn't even know who the heck he is, or if George Amberson is his real name, which it isn't.
Yeah,
so valid.
Damn name. Well, yeah, that just goes back to he shouldn't have fucking got involved.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, we never get so mad as when we get caught, dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
It's one of those one-liners.
But I wrote a lot next to that because that's one of them little one-liners that he keeps throwing in this book.
Mm-hmm. That's what I just said.
Yeah. And he's pissed that Ellie Doherty ratted him out to Sadie.
He doesn't know how close they are. He doesn't have any right.
I'm gonna say she didn't have any right. I don't know. That's
if you are having especially in 1960, a sexual relationship with someone, they hang out all the time. Like, they clearly mean a lot to each other. She has the right to know that he is this random person that, like, has no history. Yes, she does. She definitely has the right to know. You know, and like she said, he knows everything about her, all her crazy past.
Again, we have no idea. We don't know how close Ellie and Sadie could be. Like, they probably known each other her entire life.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think that, but
they've known each other about less time than she's known Jake, as a matter of fact. Because Jake was at Jody before.
He does all the right things.
Yeah, I mean,
I would feel like,
one of my friends was dating somebody who actually was, I found out, was using a fake name. I would tell him in a second.
Exactly. Like, she didn't go to the police.
Yeah, I don't think they would have done anything. This is Texas, remember? They're like, can we electrocute him? Well, then move on.
Well, my point was, I think it's well within her right to tell the person he's sleeping with.
Yeah, I agree.
And they do, like,
he kind of acts like it's none of her business, but you know,
Ellen does bring up, like, hey, this would make huge problems for us. Like, there would be legal action. She does say that.
Oh, would some people care? I don't care. Like, they could do it that way, or we could just say, have a nice life when your terms are. Then he turns into a dick. He's like, well, since you're not going to fire me, is that it? Because I have a class to get back to. Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you brought this on yourself, so that's your own fault.
I think he's just butthurt.
He is. He totally is.
So mad is when we got caught.
Yeah.
And I don't, that's
pretty much
so they blow up.
That's the end of them, perhaps.
He sees her in the airport, which I thought was...
But he doesn't... He lets her go, which I think is definitely the right move.
Well, he wasn't going to.
I was going to say, he almost doesn't, but...
He sees her in the...
Until he sees Oswald.
He sees Jackie Kennedy on the cover, and then he has a flash of her, like, brain splattered.
Yeah, that was another moment where I was like, here we go again, where he said, what was that quote about? A headshot president and all the dead who would come after, standing behind him in a ghostly file that stretched away into infinity. And I'm like, come on, I'm still not buying this whole, like, we need to save him to save the rest of the world thing. Like, you could say that about anybody who's ever been killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of... I think you have to understand the Kennedy mythos maybe a little better, because a lot of people feel that way.
No, I understand. It's a conspiracy theory to me, almost like.
Well,
like you don't know that.
This whole book's a conspiracy theory. The fact that he has to prove that it's Oswald and not anybody else is all conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
There it is. If teaching at the high school was a fool's dream, and what else was I going to do? Pour concrete? And I just, and then and he starts doing the John Clayton freaking out. She didn't talk to him. Show the picture around. Like he's really convinced that this guy's going to show up, and I didn't make that connection. They look kind of the same. There's the Doris Dunn, but like, I don't know.
Well, I think it was also just because of his. He was, you know, I would consider him abusive, at least emotionally or mentally.
Yeah, but he's also like a kind of a pussy. Like he wasn't like a Frank Dunning. Like,
you don't know that he wouldn't be violent, though. Yeah.
not beat you up vibes, but kill you in your sleep vibe.
Yeah,
and there's a different vibe.
But I think that's also what he's saying. Keep an eye out for him if he turns up around town.
Not every person who hits people looks the same and acts the same.
No, obviously not.
But he definitely has serial.
It would be much easier if they did.
But what I thought was even weirder was that, like, right at the end, he was like, yeah, he might come back, but he might not. I was starting not to worry as much now. And I'm like, why? I don't understand why you changed your mind.
Yeah,
now.
Why all of a sudden did we take a turn?
You still butthurt to getting caught. Like, fuck it. Let them live their lives, because Sadie got on the plane. Sadie's gone. Like, she's in Reno, so it kind of doesn't matter what Clayton's doing at the moment.
Yeah.
Unless he goes to Reno. But
yeah, but she's gonna come back.
Yeah,
Why did he? But why did he feel that way after looking at the picture of him? That's what I don't get.
Of Clayton?
Because of the forceps?
Yeah,
the
right?
indents from the forceps. He's like, he's not gonna hurt anybody.
Were they that bad? Like, was that bad?
Yeah.
After that, and after the pictures. Wait, did he? Never mind. Okay. I was about to ask the wrong question. The thing, what was in the envelope? Oh, it was job applications, right?
Yep. For Reno.
Where he saw her
name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's, and the people act that way too. Like, dude, stop overreacting. Like, chill. Like, and half of them are like, you're just doing this because you're trying to get her back. But
I mean,
and I kind of felt that way too.
I understand where he's coming from. I mean, like, there are a lot of connections. Like, I think it's definitely even in general, even if he didn't have that connection to door stunning, he just doesn't sound like a man that he would want coming around again. So I get what he's saying, but I do think it's a bit of a stretch. And I'm also confused again why he says he may not come around. I'm starting to think I could have been wrong about that, but he might. I'm like, which is it, buddy? You don't even know what's happening.
I don't see John Clayton as the confrontational type. He might sneak in your room at night, but he's not going to just show up in town.
I've seen enough crime stories to know that anybody can do anything when pushed to certain limits.
Especially people that are that anal retentive.
Yeah, that wound up.
Doesn't take much to push him over the edge.
Okay, maybe, but I didn't see him as that.
I did.
He was more sneaky than. If Jake would have gotten his face, he would have been okay, dude, and came back later when Jake wasn't there. He's that kind of person. So.
That's not a safe person to be around.
No, I didn't mean that. And anybody is capable of anything, but that's just the impression I got. So
it does make me think: is this another one of those Stephen King just loves to fuck with you, or is this really important?
Well, there's the guy with the omnidirectional microphone. That's a little bit important on the field.
Oh, yeah.
We already talked about that.
Yeah, we said. Okay.
That looks like Silent Mike.
Yeah, that is not Silent Bob.
Or Jay, for that.
True.
Jay or Silent Bob.
Okay, I guess we're good on this one. Jimla Billboard ends the chapter.
And then we're gonna read to the end of this section, then, right?
Yeah, part 4 was 250 pages, right?
Mm-hmm. We split it in two.
457 to what?
What?
Where are we at? Where's the end?
Well, not the next part, but after we finish this part.
It goes to 11/22/63. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Is it the
day? Actual day? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll finish the rest of this one, get together in 2 weeks, and discuss it. Is that the plan?
It is not the day, but it gets to the day by the end of it, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but she's saying that's the name of the section is 11/22.
She said is that about the... Yeah, okay.
I got
it. 2 weeks, 574. Wait, what do we call that? Chapter... What is that? 18 to 22.
Chapter 18.
22. Because part 5 starts at chapter 23.
Basically, part 2 of part 4.
I hate that he calls them parts, because then when I try to name the episodes, I can't say part 5, part 2. I have to say this is part the continuing 5. Discussion of part 5. And that's why, if you look at the names, that has a 1 or a 2 in parentheses.
Are we gonna do the book club at the back eventually?
The book club at the back.
There's a book club?
There's a book club. Book clubs that travel back to 11/22/63 with Stephen King.
What?
Yours has that. Mine doesn't.
Yours doesn't have that?
Mine has it too. I didn't even know that existed.
Are you serious?
I don't go to the back of the book.
I made a reference to it before and asked if we were going to do it, but I don't think anybody heard me.
Probably should I print it over there? But
we should do it at the end, have a bonus.
Yeah, we can do that.
Session.
Yeah, well, then at the end we can do like the whole book recap and
right, which will be that because
right.
I'm sure that's a thing
Talk
for
about
the
how
book.
the pink card man is weird.
Pink card.
I made that.
I feel like, to be honest, we'll get to it, but I think we've already answered these questions.
We probably did, but that's what I'm saying. It'll be a bonus episode.
It'll be fun to go back and do a
recap of the whole thing because you're going to be looking at those questions through a different lens once you have read the whole book.
Yeah. No, I just mean,
like you said, you'll know all the foreshadowings.
I just mean, I think in the conversations we've had, we've already answered at least the ones that I'm reading so far. Like, just real quick, one says, our hero goes on an epic journey to prevent Kennedy's assassination. Why choose this watershed moment in American history rather than any other moment? Would you choose a different moment? And if so, when? I guess not the different moment, but...
What moment would I choose? That's interesting.
Maybe that one, yeah. But the first part, like, yeah, we covered that. Like,
because none of us give a fuck about Kennedy. Maybe I go kill Hitler. Boy, all right. That would be much harder. You want to talk about obdurate? My God. All right, we're gonna sign off. End the episode. Can I call you real quick?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, bye.
Bye.